Welcome to Wake Up Radio. So Bobby is, for those of you who don't know, he's got a background with kickboxing, MMA. He's had some fights under his belt. So he's one person when I think of one person I wanted to talk about tonight who would know that, who that person is. He's in the fighting world. His name is Ryan Garcia. Are you familiar with the name?
Ryan Garcia, the boxer, right?
Yeah.
He actually just lost his last fight. I think it was his first fight that he lost against Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yeah.
That fight.
That was a very highly anticipated fight. I thought Garcia would put on a better performance than he did, but I think overall it was still a pretty good fight. But dude, Gervonta Davis is just...
They said Garcia was injured. You know what I mean? That one of his ribs got fractured in camp, and that Davis, caught wind of it. And if you actually look at the blow that dropped him, it was right where that rib injury was. So I'd like to see them fight again, maybe when Garcia has a couple more wins under his belt, for sure. But
so honestly, before this fight, I really hadn't heard much of him because I'm not really big into watching boxing. You know what I mean? But it's not like for me like it would have been following the Patriots throughout their career or whatever. So once he popped on the scene, and with all the hype around the fight, obviously everybody started seeing reels of him on Facebook and YouTube shorts and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And that's really when I start to heard his name. So I don't know much about him as a person. I don't know how much you know about him. Do you know anything about his background or anything like that? Because where I'm going with this is it was I did not expect this. You know what I mean? Out of the gentleman that I discovered Ryan Garcia to be as a boxer, I did not see any of this stuff coming.
That's right. His last fight was probably definitely was the biggest one of his career thus far. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of his personal life, what I've seen in the past 48 hours, maybe like 3 or 4 days. Can I just say one quick thing? Because what I also do know about him is he's a young man, right? He's a 26-year-old man who's worth probably a couple $100 million, at this point. So he's your upper echelon of the pay bracket in terms of boxers. So just put yourself in for the audience, putting ourselves in the shoes of a 26-year-old who's like.
So all right, I agree with you, and I'll tell you what I think is going on in a second. But I'll agree with you, and I'll just finish going through the couple of screenshots I took here, and then I'll verbally explain some of the other ones that followed these. Earthquake is going to strike Los Angeles and destroy Hollywood and Vegas, aka Sin City.
Marketable, right, in terms of celebrity status. So people above him, right, in Hollywood executives, they want to have influence on his career, right? So I would not be surprised if there's people where 200 million is.
They see money. They want to get their hands.
They sneeze that.
They want to get their hands on it. They want to get their hands into the money, because there is a lot of money in the boxing world. Like there's no. What was it? Who is it?
Probably there's definitely more money in the higher end of boxers than there is in the MMA.
Yeah. Like Mayweather. Sure. Mayweather's got money to just burn for firewood if he needs it. You know what I mean? So the point is, he's a marketable boxer. Mm-hmm. Promotional campaigns would love to scoop somebody up like that, and it's easy to put money behind press in the media. So it almost...
You just said it. Put money behind it. You just worded it perfectly. So they're putting money behind it.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? So do I think that he is within the confines to be in the upper echelons of society to have access to the information? That's the question. You know what I mean? But I guess...
Well, here's the other thing. So I was going to, talk about different sides of this. He also is, again, a 26-year-old. So things that he's doing, think of back when we were 26, when we're taking mushrooms, you're taking acid, you're, smoking a ton of weed. You're just you don't give a fuck about anything right at that point. You're living on the edge of life. And this guy, even that much more so in the boxing ring, right? He's putting his life on the line every time. So it's for someone to say things like that. You and I talk about this stuff every day, right?
Well,
which is actually why we're
lying. But it almost seems if it's even him, right? I mean, this could just be, maybe he really does have information, and this is their way of trying to publicly discredit him. Because it could be that too. Make him look like he's losing his mind, you know what I mean? And to people like you or I, who are sort of into this kind of stuff, but take everything with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? I just wonder what brought it on. And it's almost like, you know, he's going through one of those awakenings, or going through like an MK Ultra type thing, like you saw with Kanye go through in the public eye, or Britney Spears when she had that whole incident with the umbrella breaking the window with